Heck yeah.
that might draw more attention to the shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we are live, you guys. It's a comic book look, but before we open the show, I'm going to actually hand it over to Tom for a minute to win it because we got to do some sharing and do some tagging and all that madness and let it just.
Well, here we go. Minute to win it. What's up, Shawn and Aaron and Mark? I mean, great to see you guys. Shawn and Shawn, the two Shawns. First time I'm meeting you guys, so very nice to meet you guys. Super stoked to have you on a comic book look. Aaron and Mark, get the hell out of here. We don't want your kind around here no more. Just kidding. Super stoked to chop it up with you. And Aaron, long time no see, brother. Dude, I missed you. So it looks like if that stack of comics falls on you, you could die.
About that.
We already had this conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, they were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, we need to have
Well, they're stable,
911 on
know.
speed dial.
Good, because it's got me a little nervous. But
Yep. Yeah, I got my phone right next to me.
Quick question.
It's fine.
Sorry, Tom.
Yeah.
Are you unhoused? What are you outside?
Yeah.
Literally outside.
Recently, I got evicted. No, I went to a concert tonight. The concert's still going. But I'm,
nice.
got a comic book look. Takes first priority always.
What concert?
Wow.
Tennessee. They're real good from Chicago. And
Okay.
Eli Show was the opener. It was really good. And Total Drag here in Sioux Falls. So now I'm coming live from the sidewalk out in front. We came all prepared with a fully charged laptop. Really stoked to rock it on out.
That's dedication.
That is.
I mean, if you're watching
Nice.
this in Sioux Falls, you could come and heckle me live by just driving behind me.
Oh man. I hope someone takes advantage of that.
I hope not. All right, John,
man.
that's way over a minute. I'm sorry. I can see that I'm almost went 2 minutes.
Whoa.
But let's get this official. I mean, clearly it's a big party, so let's get this party started.
All right, let's go. Well, you guys, per tradition, I'm going to give you the best drum roll a guy can do on a glass desk. Hey, everybody, it's a comic book look. It's your boy, John on Demand, a.k.a. Werewolf Wednesday. So sassy with the hair back like Steven Seagal of comics. That's how we do it. Joined, of course, by co-host and CEO Tom Devine. There can only be one Midwest Highlander. And, of course, our other outstanding co-host, Mark, a.k.a. the begging and boarding bad boy, straight from Tennessee. And we have some very special guests tonight. First, you know the name, and you've seen him around. Aaron is joining us from Minneapolis area. Shout out to Comic Book College. And two very special guests. First, I have my Utah to South Dakota pioneer. Shawn is joining us all the way from Utah. I got to meet him. He came out to the Good Voice signing event, and he was such a gem to get to know. Love you. And thank you for being here. And comic book brethren, Shawn is joining us from Jersey, repping Fat Moose Comics. So we got a whole panel tonight. Holy smokes. How the heck is everyone doing?
Dude, rocking and rolling, Johnny.
Yeah. And I'm just going to pour myself some Costco sangria, get this party started over
What kind
here.
of professionalism is it to drink during one of these things?
I know. It's so bad.
Unconscionable, sir. Unconscionable.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, anyways, we have been assembled tonight, you guys. We had this situation a few weeks ago determining the fate of Mary Jane and Peter Parker. And Marvel has reached out once again and has tasked us with reviewing a very important video document and making our strong predictions of this upcoming movie plot. And I am literally talking about Guardians of the Galaxy 3. The trailers really are out. And we have been asked to present the plot of the movie.
Wow.
So that is a hefty move tonight. But before we get into that, I just wanted to get familiar super duper quick with the guest. Aaron, we've already hit you with this question, so I'm going to turn this to the Shawns, and we'll start with Shawn. Actually, Shawn from Fat Moose might have done this too, but we're going to do it again just because. We want to know your comic book origin story really quick. How'd you get into the books?
Me first?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Long before any of you were born.
I
I honestly, I know everybody's got that archetypal story of, oh, the first comic I ever had. I don't know, because my parents were just kind of handing me books before I could even really read. My dad sit me on his lap and he'd trace the words with his finger as he read them. And I learned to read pretty quickly based on that. And I don't know. I could tell you, the first Spider-Man comic I ever got or the first Ghost Rider ever got. But as far as like literally the first comic I ever got, not a clue. But kept up with it through my whole life. As soon as I discovered my first comic shop in '86, I was there every damn week for the new comic book day, to the point where he gave me a job at a high school Then he closed in 2002. I became a customer at Fat Moose Comics. Then in 2009 or 10, he gave me a job. He's like, well, you're always here and you seem to know what you're doing. So then he sold it in 2014 to Scott. Scott was running 2 shops. The other one is a gaming store. He sold it to Matt, who worked there in 2016. At the end of 2019, Matt wanted out. He was burned out. He just wasn't enjoying himself. And he was going to close the store. And I moved some things around, made a few deals, sold my soul to the devil. And I bought Fat Moose Comics. I became the owner January 1st of 2020.
Heck yeah.
And everything's been super great since then.
Yes, I've seen that.
My goodness. COVID, 3 months into owning the shop, I had to close it.
Man.
It was like that moment of like, what have I done? What was I thinking? Like, holy shit. But we made it out the other side and everything's good. But basically went from a super comic book fan to now running a tiny little comic book empire. And I'm
so awesome. I mean, Shawn, that's awesome, man. You're a true lifer, dude. That's so
I'm in. It was the hero's call to action or whatever, the hero's journey. I couldn't let the store go. It's been around now for 41 years.
Oh wow.
The oldest comic shop in New Jersey. I couldn't just let it go. I was like, no, I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss the people. And so I took it over. So
good for you.
That's my brief history.
And really quick too, just got a shout out to Fat Moose Comics. You guys have got to watch the shop walkthrough videos because he has the stairway to heaven, I call it. Blacklight posters everywhere. Bill from Comic Book Bear sent me a video of your staircase saying you need to check this out. And this was before I met you, Shawn. And then when I met you, I put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, oh my god, I definitely need to get out there. Holy crap, this is crazy.
As a child of the 70s, blacklight posters were everywhere. And our store is upstairs. There were 17 steps up this narrow, shitty stairway. And everybody always complained about the stairs. So I said, let's turn a bug into a feature. Painted everything black, hung a bunch of black lights, got the reproductions of those posters. Thank God, right around the time I was doing this, they reproduced those posters. And so I've got probably 8 or 10 hanging as soon as you walk in. Yeah, and I took black light tape and did stripes. And I've heard everything from it looks like walking into a roller rink in the 80s to walking into a head shop in the 70s. Somebody came up the stairs and like, is this an adult bookstore? I was like, well, we serve adults, but we have Sonic the Hedgehog too, So the stairway has become a feature, people hated it. And now people come in like, can I take pictures of this? I'm like, absolutely. So
I'm going to totally take selfies by your stairs. Be like, oh my God, do it for the gram. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Shawn. Shawn, Mr. Shawn Leslie, what is your origin with comic books?
I do remember my very first comic book, and that would be G.I. Joe issue 62.
Whoa.
Yeah, which was somewhere in the mid 80s. And got it at my local mall and was hooked ever since, and was like mainly just a G.I. Joe file for a long time, and then started branching out into Marvel. And it was just could never get enough. And ended up started working at my local comic book store, worked there for a number of years, and even started a podcast, comic book review podcast called Fight for Comics that ran for 6.5 years before my friends got tired of it and got exhausted. I'm sure you guys know, you keep reading the stuff that you feel like you have to, and then they ended up getting burned out. I never got burned out, and still love comics, and I'm still going strong.
Heck yeah.
Sick, man. It's great to have you on, Shawn.
Thanks.
Yes. Well, awesome. Well, I suppose, gentlemen, we've kind of been, beating around the bush here, but we have a very heavy task tonight, and that is to determine what is the plot of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So I personally don't want to go first. So who's
I am definitely not going first.
Who's the brave soul? Mark.
Of course I'll go first. I mean, no problem at all. I'll break the mold. So I got to get my notes up here, guys. I didn't write a full script, but I was getting close. Once my mind started going, I was like, John, you know what? This is fun as hell. So, okay. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, this is number 3. We've already kind of seen a lot of the stuff that I feel like we even need to see. So we need to take a big turn. Okay, guys. And that's going to be my pitch. So here we go. Right away, cuts to movie opens up. cuts to Peter Quill. He's on his interdimensional communicator, scrolling the apps. He's on the intergalactic Snapchat, and he starts texting some inappropriate stuff to underage girls. Immediately gets busted.
They were in prison. That's fair. That's fair.
The rest of the team finds out. Okay, and I forgot they're in prison, so they're all out of prison.
Yeah.
So the rest of the team finds out. Guess what? Cancels him. Star-Lord gets canceled. Tells all the other superheroes. The whole entire team disbands, and this is right at the beginning. The Snapchat goes live, and everybody's sharing all the things that he said. He gets like truly, put down, and it's terrible. And the rest of the team doesn't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But what do? They Groot and Rocket, they go into business and they become businessmen. What is their business? Permanently regenerative lumber. They sell intergalactic lumber. They start to create a business empire of lumber. They become richer than Tony Stark. Tony Stark has to start going to them for money. They have the Avengers under their hand, all because of this lumber empire that Groot and Rocket are tag teaming. At the same time, Drax and Gamora are super heartbroken that they feel so bad that Peter is canceled, and they should have saw the writing on the wall, and they start talking all the time about how they feel burned by their friend, and they start talking so much they start bonding. They fall in love. Drax and Gamora. Drax said he could never love again. Guess what? Remarries. They have 5 kids.
Wow.
It becomes love at first sight. This whole time, Peter is seeing all this, and he's falling deeper and deeper into depression. So, you're wondering, well, where's Nebula and Mantis? They joined the Avengers. And unfortunately, what happens with the Avengers, it's kind of like the Guardians. Hey, nobody gives a shit about the Avengers anymore. Nobody's picking up the book. The cool stories are over. And it's kind of like how, Mantis joined the Guardians of the Galaxy. 1 movie too late. I'm sorry. It's not as cool the second time around. So they are feeling really let down by being a part of the Avengers, and they quit. And you know what they do? They start their own vlog, their own video vlog, and they talk about what it's like playing second fiddle to the best and how you have to be confident in yourself, and then you will become the true superhero. They become bigger than PewDiePie on YouTube, 200 million subscribers, and they're absolutely crushing it. And then at this time, Star-Lord sees all of his friends, making the rounds, and he says, you know what, I'm going to start a career in comedy. So he starts opening up for Louis C.K., and he's traveling the country as the canceled comedian tour, and it's not really going really well. So this is where it gets really dark, and he quits the comedy tour, and he's sitting in his shower. Peter Quill is, and he decides that he's actually going to end it all. And he's actually going to thinking about suicide. And which is, hey, if you guys are thinking about that, make sure you call someone you love. Well, nobody calls Star-Lord, but right before he's about to do it, his phone rings, and he looks at it. He says, no, it's a weird number from, I don't know, Minnesota or Michigan. I don't need to answer this. And so he says, you know what? This is my last phone call. I'm going to answer it. Boom. He answers it. He says, on the other line, it says, we are looking for members for the Great Lake Avengers. Can you join us? And that's the end of the movie. Boom.
Credits.
Credits roll.
Credits. Wow. That's a lot to consider, Tom.
Now, it's a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
So we need a post-credit scene.
Yes.
I
didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Oh my
No,
God.
what the hell? Come on, guys.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
Here's the
I like this. All right.
post-credit scene. Gamora, Drax, Christmas morning. They got all their kids out. They're all weird green-looking kids, and they're opening their presents on Christmas morning. Peter, he's in his costume. He wants to go and visit them. He wasn't invited, so you just see Peter peeking in through the window at Christmas morning, wishing he was a part of it. Then it cuts again.
Wow.
Right.
Shout out
That's
to
quick.
Star-Lord.
That's quick thinking right there. I thought you were gonna
guys,
go like Peter shows up dressed as a woman to be the new babysitter, Doubtfire style, And
Now
in the next movie is Peter in drag pretending to be the babysitter, you know.
Oh,
Now that's what
great.
we're talking about, Shawn. I love
Yeah,
it,
I'm
man.
trying. I'm on
Yeah.
board. We got this. We got this.
Love
Oh
it.
my gosh, Tom! Holy crap!
All right, John, did I do it good enough? Was that what you were
that
looking
was
for?
that was heavenly. That was
Okay.
That was truly MCU quality right there. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Who wants to go next?
I don't want to follow that.
No,
Like,
Mark? What?
I'll go.
I
John,
can't
you got
follow
it?
that.
I feel
I'll
I'm
do it.
better served piggybacking off of like ideas like that and just
Yeah,
being like,
Shawn's is going to be
"Oh."
better.
Yeah, I'm
Shawn,
gonna embellish on your ideas, by which I mean be a slacker and cheat just like I was all through high school.
Okay, so what I imagined is that first of all, Gamora is showing up again, right? And we haven't seen her, and because she was dead, and so
Right.
the Guardians are like, well, wait a minute, who are you? How are you back? And so Rocket is very interested because she's obviously come from some kind of realm, and it's quite perplexed. And so he builds some kind of device to try and figure this out. And all of a sudden, the Guardians get sucked into this device, and they're all of a sudden in this new realm. And they're like, what is this place? We don't know. But Gamora knows. And she's like, this place is a little scary. There's someone here, but they don't know what's going on. And so they're starting to look around, and everything's not quite what they seem. And all of a sudden, like Drax and Mantis are just obsessed with how many holes everyone has. And then all of a sudden there's like this person who's the high evolutionary, and he's been trapped there forever. And Gamora is like, oh, we can't let him out. We have to keep him here. But because of all these things that are happening, they have to try and suppress him and keep him there. But everything goes scawampus, and the high evolutionary is practicing like grabbing like ex Marvel villains and like Ego, and makes him like this big head, and
yes.
and and obviously he's just a head, and he's just like flying around causing distortion and everything. But the high evolutionary gets out, and he's rummaging through time, and he's going to destroy everyone.
Yeah.
Like
I
That's
had-
the question.
Yeah.
Do we get to see Ego's butt?
Yes, you will
Okay.
get to see Ego's butt. I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all we've ever really wanted.
that Ant-Man formula right there. Yeah.
What? Oh, yeah. I haven't seen the trailers for Guardians of the Galaxy because I didn't want anything spoiled. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. Nope. That's
No, I think you're pretty close. I think you're like 87% there.
Okay.
Dude, I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, and I did. I mean, MODOK's butt was my favorite of the best part of Ant-Man by far. So yeah, I mean, let's add more, villains' asses to this MCU.
That's all we've been wanting, really.
Yeah, we can get actually for the next one we can get Joel Schumacher and just have butt shot after butt shot after, armor
Just-
nipples and just
a bunch of real hard armor.
hero
nipples.
shots of just the glutes, as
It's
we've
all
always
we've been
wanted.
wanting. It's all we've been wanting.
I love the pitch though, Shawn. That was sweet, man. I mean, I definitely go
awesome.
see that movie in a heartbeat. Everybody's just real fucked up, and it sounds like it's a tough one, man.
Plus,
I mean,
Ego's awesome. So I'm in. All right, Aaron, do you want to tackle it?
Yeah, am I back in?
Yeah, you're back in.
More or less.
Your video's a little frozen, but we can
Okay,
hear
cool.
you.
Yeah, I can go next.
Yeah.
That's good. After hearing those two, I don't think mine's nearly as crazy enough, but I'll give it a shot.
Let's go.
So this takes place immediately after the holiday special. The Guardians are just doing their normal thing, keeping everyone happy on Nowhere, saving the galaxy. But during their time on Earth, during the holiday special, Drax discovers the existence of a man named Dave Bautista, and he wants to model himself after this hunk of a man that he thinks is just the coolest. And
Right.
Mantis discovers Dr. Phil and is moved by the empathy that he displays in his show and wonders if he is one of her kind. And then while that's all going on, Adam Warlock is born. He runs away from the Sovereign. Then he bumps into the High Evolutionary. More on that later. And then during their adventures, they run into Gamora, who has become like a bounty hunter. And Peter finds that he can't fall in love with this version of Gamora, this time-displaced version of Gamora. So he and Nebula fall together. Rocket is becoming very ill, and no one is able to make him better. So they discover that he was created by the High Evolutionary. They take him there, but only to discover that, oh no, High Evolutionary is the bad guy and wants to destroy the world, of course. And we discover that not all of Ego's children were killed. Some survived and have found refuge in the High Evolutionary, and he gives them powers and whatnot. And the surviving children of Ego are mad at the Guardians, and especially Peter for killing Ego, and then a big fight ensues, of course. And then Rocket builds an awesome mech suit that he fights in. And then Adam Warlock, since he's only a day or two old at this point, is fairly dim-witted and naive and kind of stupid. So the Guardians convince him to stop fighting by tricking him into thinking that Goldie Hawn is his mother. Because all Adam Warlock is looking for is a family. And they trick him into thinking that Goldie Hawn is his mother. And then at the end of the fight, unfortunately, Peter and Rocket die. You said wrong answers only. I'm trying to will Rocket to survive in this new one coming up. So Rocket dies and Peter dies. And then so Peter dies saving Nebula and Gamora. Rocket dies saving Groot, of course, and destroying the High Evolutionary. So the Guardians win, aside from some casualties. Gamora takes over as the leader of the Guardians, and then Drax, Mantis, Groot, Cosmo, and Nebula remain on the team, and Adam Warlock joined. And I did come up with post-credit scenes. I've got 2 of them. So the mid-credit scene is the Eternals. Yeah, I was prepared. So the mid-credit scene is the Eternals' journey to nowhere and discover that it's a severed celestial head. Possible sequel bait. And then this one is my favorite. The post-credit scene, Beta Ray Bill cameos, and he's portrayed by Timothée Chalamet. That is my pitch.
Boom. Aaron came to play. 2 credit scenes.
Yeah, Aaron, that's just like could probably be the movie. So I mean, that was really good. Like you should think about just start writing comics.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I had thought about it.
That was
I don't think mine was crazy enough.
I mean, you do have Rocket and Peter dying, bro. I mean, it's still pretty crazy. I just love the thought outness of it. It's great job, Aaron.
All right. Mark, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
I do have to.
Oh, you're good, Aaron. Go. What were you going to say?
Mine's really short.
I did have a ghostwriter, but one of my coworkers helped me. So.
Nice.
That's awesome. Mark, if you want to go next, I can.
Yeah, it's super short.
Shout out to Fro.
All right, cool. So, like, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, we're going to kick it back to Volume 2 when you think that this guy actually died. Taserface.
Oh, yeah.
Volume 3 is going to be The Revenge of Taserface.
Yes, dude.
Anybody making fun of his name is going to just get eliminated. He remembers Rocket laughing at him. He actually survived the explosion. And he's coming back to rule the cosmos, and he's ready to take down the Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's going to be the big bad guy.
Hell yeah, man. That's so funny.
I'm so pissed. I forgot about him. Oh, my God.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I love you got
that together.
You got the Funko on lock ready to show us, man. That was perfect, Mark.
Taserface. All right. Okay. Well, I will do my best here. I don't know if I will compare.
No, we got to save you for last. We got to get Shawn in here first. Shawn Fat Moose has got to go first.
Wow. I like I said earlier, much like most of my life, I'm totally unprepared and making it up as I go. But the broad strokes would be Guardians fall apart, obviously, because the third movie, something always goes wrong. You know, the team. So since Groot can basically grow anything, they start growing weed. You know,
Yes!
Rocket and Groot open their own weed store because he could just spontaneously grow whatever the hell he needs.
Fair.
One day Howard the Duck comes in because he likes to party.
Oh
He
yeah,
and Ro-
dude.
he and
Looking for those
Rocket-
dank nugs.
Yeah, Howard and Rocket just have this just immediate attraction. So you got Howard the Duck and Rocket Raccoon as a couple.
Yeah,
Because we're
definitely.
being progressive. Right, exactly.
That's right.
Peter, he and Gamora, yeah, they don't hit it off because she's not the same Gamora. Gamora becomes fascinated with Drax, which, oddly enough, we seem to be simpatico with that. And they have a bunch of different shades of green kids, which I actually kind of thought of fun. But I don't want to piggyback off of that. But my main thrust was Guardians break up. Groot and Rocket start a weed place.
Yeah.
Maybe a cameo from Jay and Silent Bob. They come to buy some pre-rolls. Could happen.
Sick,
you
dude.
know.
I love
I
it.
mean, after the stunt casting in this last season of Mandalorian, anything's possible. You know. So I'm saying let's cram in every celebrity we can think of. So yeah, Jay and Bob show up to buy weed. Cheech and Chong show up to buy weed. Jeff Spicoli shows up to buy weed, and most of it's basically a takeoff on Clerks, where most of the movie takes place in the weed store that Groot and Rocket run now, and it's just endless Kevin Smith style celebrity cameos, and that's it. Thor comes in to buy weed to balance out his eye color, so one eye can give red.
So dang.
We don't know what happens to Gamora and Drax and Nebula, but it's mostly focuses on much like Dante and Randall, but now it's Groot and Rocket.
Yeah, that's all anybody cares about anyway.
Exactly.
Nobody else
Those are
wants to see
everybody's
anymore.
favorites, you know.
Yeah.
Which Marvel character would be outside boycotting it?
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
Fucking Captain America. or
Captain
something.
America.
Yeah. Definitely, Mr. Two Goody Two Shoes.
Or Daredevil, who's holier than thou, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's boycotting because his sensors are so enhanced.
Yeah,
Overwhelmed.
It doesn't matter how
he-
far away he goes, he can still smell the
Smell
weed, and it's making him crazy.
Driving him nuts. Oh my gosh.
All right, John.
Okay, so this is like literally half a page, so I apologize, you guys. I took this way too literally. Whoever designed the show is an idiot. It's me. All right. So this entire movie has Peter Quill going through an intense dream sequence where nothing makes sense, and he might slightly be playing the victim since he felt guilty for dooming the universe in Infinity War. First off, in the trailer, Nebula throwing her hands up, cheering in a crowd, tells us that Peter clearly went to a rave party the night before, hosted by the Nova Corps, and likely partook of some illicit substances. He started out the night talking to a girl in a blue dress, but ended up with his arm around one of the speaker stacks.
Been there, man.
When
Too many times to count.
when he got dumped off at the ship, he collapses, and this is the scene where Nebula's carrying him, and the group's flanking her. I'm not really sure about the otter. I don't know what's going on there. The Polaroid photo that Gamora's holding actually shows a selfie of her and Black Widow on Vormir drinking cocktails on an undisclosed lakeside beach, although the water's misty and kind of creepy looking. When Rocket says, "Pete, I'm done running," he's actually referring to canceling the team's membership to Planet Fitness. The team is tired of the circular treadmills that we see in the trailer. The scene of the 5 multicolored spacesuits jumping into outer space, that's actually a sequence shot from Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, so I'm not really sure how that landed in the trailer. I guess it's Morphin Time, I don't know. And then ending the movie, the ship landing is actually the same neighborhood as where Jean Grey grew up. The neighbors being all animal, actually has nothing to do with the High Evolutionary, and instead results from Jean Grey's Dark Phoenixing out.
Ooh.
Roll credits.
Yeah, setting up that X-Men into the Marvel MCU. I like that, John.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So I don't know. I literally was dissecting the trailer. Okay.
Yeah, you might be the one who actually did the most accurate work as far as looking at scenes from the trailer. I was like, they smoke weed all day.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
you may win the gold star for doing the most homework on that one.
Yeah. So, Ultimately, though, boys, very good work all around, and MCU will likely steal all aspects of all of our,
As they should.
proposals. Yeah, as they should. So, and then they'll get the movie ready magically in next week already. So, good luck, Marvel. Awesome. Before we close it down, I just wanted to ask: were there any books this week that came out that anyone wants to call out that are total wow pieces that you just
Well,
want to give a shout out to?
I am just getting a text message from Kevin Feige right now. He's saying that he liked all of our ideas. He is going to be canceling the debut of Guardians of the Galaxy to do some reshoots, try to get some of these stories in. And he wanted me to know, are we okay with them taking our ideas? We haven't signed a contract or anything,
Right.
guys. What should I tell him?
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll tell him to fuck off. Okay, I
Is
got it.
Yeah.
Is there money involved? I'm kind of in the
Tell them
middle.
we all want cameos.
It's already sent.
Yeah.
It's already sent. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take some
we
money.
were this close, guys. This
Ah,
Way to go, Tom. Oh,
Sorry,
man.
that's the way she goes.
Yeah, any books that came out this week that anyone wants to give a shout out to?
There was a good James Tinian book. What was that one? Number 1, where it's like about a murder world and the internet and the deep web.
World Tree?
I don't know if anybody. Yeah, World Tree. Yeah,
Issue
that was
3?
bomb. Yeah, that was good as hell.
Yeah.
yeah.
That one's
think-
been really popular
looks
at the
cool.
register. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to read that yet. I brought one every Tuesday
Same.
night.
Yeah,
I
my
bring
store.
home a stack like that of things. I'm determined to read. I don't collect for value. I don't collect for anything. I love reading comics.
Yeah.
And every Tuesday I come home with a chunk like that, and I read about that many, and then the rest go in a pile. And the next week I come home with that many, and I read that many, and the rest go in a pile. So all I read last night, literally, by the time I got home, I was so tired. I read the new Daredevil and the issue number 2 of Clobberin' Time.
Oh yeah, sure.
Both very fun. Daredevil, I don't know if any of you have read it yet or are reading it at all.
I'm not collecting it. No.
All right, Zdarsky's run has been great.
Yeah.
But in this issue,
I'm not caught up.
a lot of the heroes show up to stop Daredevil. They think what he's doing is wrong.
Oh.
But Daredevil has to go one-on-one against Spider-Man. And it's Daredevil's book. He's the star. But the way they characterize Spider-Man, he almost steals the show, where Daredevil is fighting him one-on-one. And Matt Murdock's internal dialogue is like, Peter's the best of us. Like, I don't even know how I'm going to beat this guy. He's so good. He's so, experienced, but he's naive. He still believes the best in people. So Daredevil fights dirty. And that's how he goes up against Spidey. He's like, Pete's got so much faith in people, and that's why he does this. I'm going to have to be a douchebag to take him out. And I'm not going to reveal anything, but it was so great that in the Daredevil book, Spider-Man almost gets like to steal the show. And just the way he writes Spider-Man is so true to the character, where Pete's like, look, just stop this. We can work this out. And Daredevil's like, nope, got to punch you. And, it was just a really satisfying issue.
Yeah.
Nice.
I had one question on the main cover of that issue. It had like Daredevil, a lot of blood and snow or whatever, and then there was this object behind him that looks like U.S. Agent Shield. Is that a target thing that you shoot arrows at, or is that U.S. Agent Shield?
I don't want to spoil it, and I really can't, because I picked up the Kevin Eastman cover for myself, because as an old school Turtles fan, if you got Eastman on a cover, I'm going to pick it up. But on the cover, yes, I believe, if from memory, because again, this is the one I brought home. I believe it's U.S. Agent Shield, and it just shows they're having this big bloody fight in the snow, and it was good. It was satisfying. I've always been a big Daredevil kid, and the new run, the current run by Zdarsky has been great.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the cover. Yeah, it just really stood out to me. I'm like, wait, what? So I just wanted to highlight that. And
even if you haven't been reading it, it explains enough where you can pick it up. I mean, none of us. I mean, I didn't start reading Spider-Man with issue 1. I picked up Amazing Spider-Man 180 something and just started there. So whenever I have customers at the shop and they're like, "Well, this is on issue 12. I can't start there." I'm like, "Of course you can. You'll figure it out." And half the fun of starting a series that's already going is, if you love it, go hunt down the back issues. Like, that's half the fun of collecting, is the hunt.
Okay.
But
Agreed.
Daredevil was a good read this week. Very much enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Cool. Any other books we wanted to lift up?
I wanted to plug something that I just heard about that they just announced.
Ooh.
Has anyone read Manifest Destiny?
Yes,
Yeah. So
Never got around to it.
put out by Image Comics under Robert Kirkman's Skybound, but they just announced the hardcover because the series just barely ended on issue 48, and it's been my favorite series that has come out. In the last 10 years, and it's Lewis and Clark who have been tasked to go discover go and discover the U.S. And take care of the monster problem. And to me, it was just like the book that was so good that nobody was reading. It's so awesome. And it had the feelings of like the TV series Lost before it jumped the shark and just got really lame. That beginning season when they're going through and just discovering things, and things are just kind of off and not quite what they seem. And they're going west, and all they're with all these rapists and murderers, because they were just given all these prisoners to go with them, because they were just given the dirt of the dirt, because nobody wanted to travel with them. So that's who they're traveling with, Lewis and Clark. And then they meet Sacagawea along the way, who's like this badass warrior, and they meet like huge buffalo warriors and all kinds. It's like a really, really great horror comic. Anyway, I can't recommend it enough, but it's going to be coming out in, the most really great hardcover volumes, just kind of like Saga is, and, those deluxe ones that Image puts out. Anyway, can't recommend that series highly enough. It's phenomenal.
Heck yeah.
I can vouch for what you said, Shawn, that nobody's really reading it. I've got 3 subscribers for that book.
Oh, yeah.
So I used to get 6 or 7 copies, 3 for the subscribers and a couple for the wall and a couple for the wall. And it just never moved. I had to cut it down to literally, I just get 3 copies for my 3 subscribers. And it's a shame because it is a good book.
Yeah, it's so great.
It doesn't sell off the wall. And, wall space is everything, as you guys know, man. If a book's not moving, as much as you swear by it and you recommend it, you can't force people to buy a thing. And so, I cut it down to subs only.
Yeah. Well, hopefully another format gives it another life and gets a couple more, people interested in it. I don't know, but seriously, I cannot recommend it highly enough. It is just phenomenal.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. Cool. It was a light week for me. I'm okay with that. So definitely behaving there. Tom, you're like mobilizing, bro. Are you rolling out?
Yeah, the concert just ended. My daughter's coming over to the truck, so I'm driving home now. You guys get to come with me the whole ride. Don't worry.
Yeah. All right. Good. Just drive safely though.
That's all. I'll have her hold the laptop, when we start going.
That's cool. All right.
She just got the poster. Here she comes, right there with the poster.
That's awesome. Well, cool. Well, boys, thank you so much for an awesome show tonight. Holy crap. We assembled just the finest people to determine the fate of these intergalactic heroes, and we did a stellar job of it. So before we wrap up, we just like to get familiar. Where can people find you at? Shawn from Fat Moose, where can people find you at?
Well, I'm at the shop 60-something goddamn hours a week, so you can always find me there. We have, a Facebook page like any place should. We have an Instagram that I don't know, maybe I'm showing my age. I have a really hard time giving a shit about Instagram. I log in once a week and go, don't care. The main place, would be Facebook. But if you look on YouTube, Fat Moose Comics NJ, as John knows, I do a lot of goofy ass videos.
They're great.
A lot of them involve puppets and
They're
music and just weird shit because I'm I said, I'm trapped in there for so long all the time that sometimes I go a little stir crazy, and we've got props and songs and puppets, and it gets ridiculous. I use it to announce sales. I used to have a segment called "Why the hell is this still here?" where I'd spotlight items like, this is so cool. Why the hell is this still here? If you mention this video, I'll give you 20% off, and that's been very effective. But yeah, for information, I would say the Facebook page. For entertainment, the YouTube channel.
That's awesome. All right, Mr. Shawn Leslie, where can people find you at?
I'm on Facebook. I don't really have an entertainment channel anymore. I'm on Instagram as Shawn Les. Follow me if you want.
If you dare.
If you dare. Ooh.
Well, I got a friend request to all you guys on Facebook now, so
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. All right, Aaron, where can people find you at?
You can find me at Comic Book Dude 93 on Twitter. You can find me at Comic Book College in Roseville, Minnesota. We're just right off of County Road C. We'd love to see you there.
Awesome. Cool. And Mark, if you want to throw out your handle.
Cool. Mark C. Shelton 1 on Twitter, and then just Mark C. Shelton on pretty much any regular social media. Just it's cool. Find me on there.
Awesome. And then for Tom and I, our handles are our screen names on here as well. So on the Twitters and Instagrams, we are @John on Demand and @Tom Stu Divine. Collectively, we are a Comic Book Look, proudly sponsored by Rainbow Comics in Sioux Fizzy, South Dakota, as well as Lincoln, Nebraska. So that's cool. We have 2 sites. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you to all of our awesome guests for taking part of this insane panel. But it's like I said, it's important to determine the fate of these heroes, and we need heroes to do that. So that's right. But you guys know the drill. As always, we'll be back next week, and it's going to be a very fun show as well. Tom and Mark don't even know what we're doing yet. It'll be delightful, so it'll be fun. But thank you guys so much, and definitely consider giving these gentlemen a follow, connect, get familiar. It's a cool community that we're all a part of. And what do we do here at a Comic Book Look? We keep it comics, and I let Mark lead us out with
Bagging and Boarding's Never Boring, and read 8 Billion Genies. It just ended. Get the trade, get the singles. It's an awesome comic.
All right. We'll see you guys.